My name is Marco du Plooy. I'm a medical orthotist and prosthetist from Pretoria. And I started with my profession after I've studied in 1993. I ended my studies, or completed my studies, and in 1994 I started working as a orthotist prosthetist. So this year it's 30 years that I'm involved in this business. I've always had a passion for people, and I always said that if I can do something with my hands and work with people and use my brain, that will be the ideal work for me. And it just turned out that prosthetics is just 100% that. So I love the people that I work with. I love working with my hands. I love to figure things out to make their lives better and to create something that they can actually use to make their lives better. So as a prosthetist, I get a lot of feedbacks from my patients. Patients that was able to participate in sports where they have never thought that they would be able to do that. To give you an example, a patient of mine have not had the opportunity to run for 20 years after his amputation, and once we invited him to a mobility clinic and he actually realized he could run, and this patient had a through-the-knee amputation. Once he realized he could run, he started playing touch rugby for a club the next week. Another patient of mine who is blind, cannot see at all, also with a below-knee amputation, is working at the courts as an attorney, and he will take the bus to the city or the Uber, and he would get out of the car, walk around in the mid-city of Pretoria with his walking cane, and has no problem to be able to do his job properly. So for me, it's really inspiring to see what these people can do, and I'm just grateful to be part of that process. Every now and again, we as a practice will host a running clinic, or what we call a running clinic. So what it basically entails is we will get a lot of amputees, 30, 40, 50 amputees together, people that has never run before, and we will guide them in the process on how to learn how to run. So we will meet in the morning, take them through all the steps and all the processes and loosen their joints and get them mobile, and by lunchtime or mid-afternoon, most of them can run. So we use the techniques of Robert Gailey from America, who I think is the guru of amputation rehabilitation in the world. We use those steps to get people to run. So I believe that most amputees, if they want to, they can be active, they can run, and they can live a fulfilling life. There are a number of amputees or patients that I can think of that really inspired me, and their stories inspired me. I can think of one specific person who literally lost everything after the amputation. So she had to go back to the bank so that they can take possession of her car that was on a lease. She lost her house. She basically lost everything. And after we fitted her with a prosthetic leg, she regained confidence. She was able to work again. She was employable. And today she is really in a good position at work. She has a good employer, and she can look after herself and her family. And I think that's also because of the prosthetic intervention that we had with her. So I'm really grateful that we can say that we were part of that. So when we address the topic or the issue of prosthetic user and pain, it's definitely something out there, and people with prosthetic legs do experience pain. A typical pain situation on a transtibial or below knee amputee would be the tip of the tibia, the very end, or the head of the fibula, which is the bone on the side of the leg. And that's very common. On the above knee prosthetics, in the groin or on the ramus area or the pubic bone, people will experience pain. And I've had so many people that come into my practice and really suffer from pain. And a lot of them are being told, your prosthetic leg is like a shoe that you have to just wear in and the pain will get less. I don't think so. I always think that pain is not something that you can get used to. You maybe have to deal with a little bit of discomfort in the beginning, but you get more comfortable with the legs. And I always say, if you don't get more comfortable within the next 2 weeks, then something is wrong. So we really try, or I really try, to address every issue of possible pain for the amputee. And when we've made the prosthetic leg and they still experience pain anywhere in the prosthetic socket, we will address that, even if we have to remake the prosthetic leg. But I want the amputee to be comfortable, to be mobile, and to live his full potential, his or her full potential, without pain. The process to manufacture a prosthetic leg, I would say, differs from patient to patient. I always look at what their desires are, what their functionality is, their activity level, and what the patient wants to do with that prosthetic leg. Hence the reason why some people have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 prosthetic legs. Because an athlete cannot run in a normal walking leg that's made for court shoes, and they would want to wear sneakers or tackies, and they want to have a little bit more spring in their step when they run, and a little bit more shock absorption. So when I manufacture a leg, I would really consider the individual and take note of what they really need and design the prosthesis accordingly. I often get a remark from a patient that's as follows: I must be your most difficult patient ever. And that's absolutely not the case. I always tell the people that I can only make the prosthetic leg as good as the information that you give me. So I use whatever information you give me to make a comfortable, functional prosthesis that caters for all the activities that you as amputee want to do. So therefore we spend a lot of time sitting and planning and changing the prosthesis so that it fits your activities. We believe in a long-term relationship with our practice and me and the amputee. So it's always necessary, or it can be necessary, for the patient to come in to have maintenance done on the prosthetic leg, or to adjust the prosthetic leg in the way that they need adjustments done. Sometimes we have to replace the knee, sometimes the foot, sometimes we have to make adjustments to the socket. and normally that's a quick procedure, and we can normally do that in a day or within one appointment. At our practice, we are very fortunate to have the workshop right next to the fitting room. So if we need to make adjustments to any of the prosthetic legs, we simply walk here and do the adjustments. We don't have to drive anywhere. We don't have to contract it out. Everything that we do is done on site, whether it's a new fitting or a new prosthesis or adjustments to the prosthesis. We can do anything at the practice. Someone was asked on the radio the other day what they will do if they win the lottery, and they said travel and buy things, and I can't remember what else. And I was thinking what my answer would be to that question. I will also do a lot of things, but one thing that I will not do is to stop doing my job that I've been doing for the last 30 years, because I really enjoy it. I love working with the people, and I love to do something that makes a difference in people's lives. And I always think if it's good for me, if it's good for the other people, if it's good for the community, then it's a good thing to do. And that's where I am. I try to steer my life and my profession in that direction.